So basically, I've been watching a lot of Kuncan Dastner's videos, and I enjoy them, for the most part, because well, he's quite entertaining, and you can tell that he's quite genuine in his videos, and he's not trying to put on an act and anything to please the audience. However, I do feel like the Mr. Beast Squid Game video that he made was a little bit questionable in some of its points. Just a disclaimer, by the way, I am in no way attacking Kunkan Dastner or anything that he does. I am just here to kind of look at his video and talk about why I feel like his points, well, at least some of them, aren't really, you know, not very up to standard, I guess.
It is undeniably impressive that Jimmy and his team spent time and money recreating these iconic sets from the show. Jimmy said himself that he spent millions on the sets, but even the show used green screens for most of them. If he's just reenacting scenes from the show, did we really need the entirety of the sets to be painstakingly remade? I don't know. Maybe I'm being a hater. I don't think you needed to go that big for something that should be more focused on the people.
Okay, so here's the first point that I think we can talk about. So Kunkan here says that he feels like Mr. Beast shouldn't have gone that far because it's more for the people and all that, and that even the original Squid Game used CGI. However, in Night Fox's video talking about his experience in it, he said that Mr. Beast actually used a lot of green screen and CGI to make the whole thing. He didn't actually like put a lot of stuff together. Well, he did put a lot of stuff together, but he didn't put all of it together.
First off, this scene was shot inside, not outside. The sky, it was CGI'd in. Throughout the video, I'll point out all the CGI because dang, there was a lot of it, and it just makes the video that much more.
He keeps coming back to player number 67, who in the original show was one of the breakout stars because people loved how cute she was. And for this show, he also seems to have given the number 67 to a good-looking woman. And that just feels a little intentional, like the fact that she's getting screen time, like, to make up for, it's just a little weird. I know I'm looking for adapted material here, but in this case, specifically casting an attractive woman to meet the role of an attractive woman who was so celebrated feels like a little weird. It seems like you're kind of setting up this person to, like, be fawned over, which doesn't really sit right with me. I'm actually going to look up Mr. Beast 67 on Twitter. If you don't look at me like 67, I don't want it. Yo, Twitter, y'all gotta find player 67's at from Mr. Beast Squid Games for me. I'ma need to know who number 67 is, blah, blah, blah. Why is 67 in Squid Game and Mr. Beast so pretty, blah, blah, blah. Number 67 in Mr. Beast Squid Game was something else, man. Girl was a beauty. Do y'all seriously find her attractive? Mr. Beast got a better 67. This one feels extra bad. I think you know why.
Okay, so his point about how people are fawning over 67 and being really creepy, yeah, no problems with that. That is terrible and should not be tolerated at all. I would probably make a point about how Mr. Beast never tried to protect her and like speak out against this type of thing, but this is a video about Kunkan, not really about my opinions on the thing.
Yeah, I don't think this was an accident. This is the one player so far that Mr. Beast keeps coming back to, and it's clear that he's trying to emulate some kind of something, just he's setting up someone to be fixated on, right? Like, weird.
Now here's the main problem that I have with his video. His points about 067 having a lot of screen time and saying that it's really creepy that he's giving her a lot of screen time because he's trying to make people fawn over her. That's what he's trying to imply. However, if you actually looked at the actual video, Mr. Beast has shown 4, 5, 6 way more than 067. And the fact that Kunkan is willing to lie about something that is so easy to prove wrong kind of makes his video way less credible, if you know what I mean. And before somebody says but what about 001 or whatever, Night Fox, I'm gonna bring up Night Fox again. Night Fox said that he got out the first round, so, yeah.
A little fun fact is that these characters were actually switched to help give tribute to the show. 456 was Asian, 067 had some resemblance, and 001 was the oldest guy there, but he didn't make it past red light, green light.
For example, 067 and 431.
That's my best friend.
According to this, you two are roommates and best friends. We did our research.
So, like, he admitted it.
Okay, I can't tell if I'm just dumb or he didn't make a point, but I have no idea what he's admitting. Like, he said that he admitted, oh, we did our research on whatever, but I saw that as doing research on the people who joined, not on, like, that particular person. At least that's what I feel.
I get that this is, like, the opposite of a big deal. Like, that's not lost on me. Don't comment that. I get it. But I went into this looking for authenticity, and it kind of feels like this whole character moment around this poor girl who just happened to be attractive that they gave the 67 jersey to. Like, the setup from the very beginning just kind of proves that this wasn't ever intended to be conducted fairly. Not in terms of who wins the game, but rather who is highlighted in the video.
Honestly, if Kuncan went into it thinking that there wasn't going to be emphasis on the person who got the main character's numbers, he's kind of just setting himself up. Like, they're really popular, especially the main character, who also got a lot of screen time. Just saying.
Also, it leads to this, which I kind of think Mr. Beast wanted as an outcome, and I don't like that very much.
Okay, I still don't get any of his points about how he thinks that Mr. Beast wanted this to happen, wanted a bunch of these creeps to come over to her, because his main point about he's giving her so much screen time can immediately be dismantled by saying this other guy got more screen time than her and was highlighted way more than she was, and he never brings him up. And that kind of rubs me the wrong way, because I'm not saying this as fact, but the way you're doing this makes it seem like you're trying to manipulate your fans into not liking Mr. Beast. And by saying stuff like, oh, it's not really a big deal, you're still kind of just putting that thought into their head and saying that he's kind of a creep and all that. And that is really harmful. I don't know if you know this, but like making false accusations on someone like this is not really a good idea, because like your whole point doesn't make sense just because another person actually does have more screen time than her. I'm just saying that this point could have been done way better than this.
A lot of pairs went with marble games that were played in Squid Game.
Odd.
Even? Odd or even? Even on what? What game are you? We don't know.
One marble at a time is going to take all the...
If you keep talking it right.
Oh, Carl. I really wanted that fucking burger. Surprisingly, amidst the fallen, the beloved character 67 gets eliminated. It's actually done in a very brief sequence, and instead of them playing it out, there's more camera time devoted to the other players we've barely seen before. And honestly, that wasn't what I was expecting. I thought they were going to do like this big long goodbye to character 67, and they didn't, which I can say I'm happy to see. Like, maybe I was too harsh on their coverage, but the whole thing seemed weird. Whatever. At least they kind of wrote her off easy.
Congratulations!
Up. Oh, well. You know they just had to include that shot of her right at the end.
Now here, this is the only time I actually legitimately agree with Duncan, and that shot was kind of unnecessary, if you know what I mean. Like, I felt like they didn't really have to put that in, but that's probably the only piece of evidence that Mr. Beast wanted a bunch of people to fawn over her, and he's like and he has ulterior motives. All his other points about this still doesn't work.
My mind is just thinking about the burger and the weird coverage on 67. My mind is buzzy. It's too late for this.
Also, Duncan, if you're watching this, which you probably aren't, you should probably get somebody to do something about the fact that you got scammed out of a burger. That has to be illegal in some way.
One of y'all big numbers take a chance.
Under 3 minutes with 4 jumps left.
Somebody's gonna have to do it. Y'all in a real bad spot. I'm not moving.
One of y'all big numbers take a leap of faith.
Yeah, you do back there, 15.
Whatever, man. We can all lose. You guys better hurry up. They have 2 minutes. Why are they not rushing?
I really like this part. I like this. This is where it actually starts to feel like a good social experiment. It's when the contestants are isolated, away from Jimmy and the cameras and their faces. There's no fake explosions or cartoon sound effects. This is when they actually start debating the risks and who will sacrifice themselves. This is the shit that makes challenge videos interesting. Not some host and meme references, it's human beings fighting their impulses and working as teams. Them simultaneously trying to work together and get ahead is interesting to see, and human nature is really on display in these moments. I kind of wish the whole thing could have been this. A little more focus on the people and like understanding their decision making.
Okay, so Duncan keeps talking about the fact that, I like this part because this is about the people and how the mentality works and all that, which I also really liked about that video. However, here's the thing that I don't really get. So he says that he wishes the whole video could have been like this, and in my opinion, I don't think that's gonna be possible because there's like 456 different people inside this game. There's no way that he can focus on all of them. That's just not possible. And like, the reason why he's able to show this many like mental stuff is because there's less people that he can focus on and more stuff that he can, more brain things that you could talk about. I know I'm very good at speaking. Very nice.
Let's test my hypothesis. Raise your hand if you know how to play Squid Game. Exactly. That's why we're doing musical chairs instead, because we're not Korean.
Yeah, but like, you could look it up. Here, I'm doing it right now. It has to be easy. There you go. The first result just explains it all to you. And it's not some crazy Korean unintelligible game. It's perfectly explainable. But it's not worth the effort to the people behind this video. That does not sit right with me. Like, that specifically feels pretty shitty.
I do agree with Duncan quite a bit here because he could have just explained the game even if they weren't Korean and all that. The only problem that I have is that Mr. Beast adding the actual Squid Game in his Beast games would be a terrible idea. Squid Game is super physical and involves a lot of pushing and a lot of physical contact, and he wouldn't want anybody getting hurt on the premises. And you kind of did say that it's good that he didn't have them fight, so, you know, I'm just saying.
I just don't think I'm his demographic. I kind of wanted a little more substance to this, so I went into it probably with the wrong headspace. I can admit that, but I don't know. I don't think I got the intended point of this video. Is it greedy to say that I wanted like more? Because like I don't feel compelled to smash that MF and subscribe button. Mr. Beast has made entertaining videos in the past, and I don't think he's a bad YouTuber or person by any means. But this version of Squid Game is very dumbed down and reliant on funny edits rather than any focus on the people and their emotions, which I think made the original the powerful show that it is.
So Duncan says that he wishes that it was more about the people and less edited like a YouTube video. I already said my points about how this couldn't have been about the people at the start, at least. But I'm going to talk about the part where he says that it should be less edited like a YouTube video. Mr. Beast is not a filmmaker. He's a YouTuber. Of course he's gonna edit it like a YouTuber. And like you said, you're not part of his demographic, so, you know, that's not a point. So after an outro talking about his Carl Deluxe, his video is over. So yeah, I definitely disagree with some parts of the video. I just wanted to make this video calling out some of the points he made. Again, do not go sending hate to him because that is not my intention. Okay, goodbye.